Hello, my name is Marcus, and welcome to my channel. A review like this is always tough for me to produce. This is a very biased opinion, as I have been a Sonic the Hedgehog fan since I was 6 years old. So, even going into this movie, I know that I was going to get some kind of enjoyment out of it, whether the movie overall was good or bad. As, like I stated, I have been playing these video games based off of these characters for over 30 years, since 1991. So with that being said, I hope that I am able to present a review that is truthful, honest, giving you a little bit of nitpicks about the film, or overall rejoicing that the film was made in the first place, because the storyline is based off of one of my favorite games of all time, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, with a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 thrown in there as well. This, in my opinion, is the pinnacle of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise when it came to the games, when it came to the fandom. In the early 90s, it was Sonic and Mario when it came to the video game world. Be careful for spoilers here. I'm going to be jumping across the plot all over the place. Don't really have anything lined out, to be completely honest. So if you click the video, and if you haven't seen the movie, I thank you for clicking, but I would go ahead and nudge on out. But if you click this video, I would highly suspect that you've already seen the film. So let's jump right in. First praise, Sonic and Tails, his character development and relationship building into becoming best friends. This was the pinnacle of the movie for me. The relationship between Sonic and Tails has been such a groundbreaking institutional being of the entire Sonic franchise, and I feel like they represented it perfectly in this movie. Yeah, sure, of course, it was a couple of dance scenes that I personally could have done without, but the children that was in my theater, you could see the gleam in their eyes, you could see the excitement, so I had to buckle down and try to think with my 6-year-old mind instead of my 34-year-old mind, and realize that, yeah, man, this is how you build a friendship. This is how you become friends. This is great character development, just by having those little subtle moments of them becoming who they're supposed to be. One of my favorite scenes throughout the entire film was when Tails was confiding in Sonic that the reason that he tracked him down was because, when he was growing up, he had his two tails, and like all the people from his planet would make fun of him, and like he always considered himself weird, so he just kind of stayed by himself. And Sonic was the first person that he saw with his super speed, and thought to himself, hey, he's weird too, so maybe potentially we could be good friends. And I'm so glad that you made that assumption, Tails, because your friendship with Sonic is one of my favorite friendships in all of media. Which brings us to Knuckles the Echidna. Now, if you're a longtime Sonic fan, you will know off top that Knuckles was introduced to the Sonic franchise by being persuaded by Eggman to think that Sonic was trying to steal a Master Emerald. And that plot still holds up pretty true in the movie itself. So Eggman is stuck on the Mushroom Planet at the beginning of the film, and he is trying to devise a way to open up the ring portals to get back to Earth. And while opening up a different portal, he ends up on Knuckles' planet. And he is able to convince Knuckles that Sonic is evil, and he's trying to defeat his destiny on protecting the Master Emerald. Wonderfully represented and wonderfully explained and told within the movie. I have no quarrel or qualm with this story plotline at all. I loved every bit of it. I also loved how Knuckles was represented. Feel like they perfectly represented how his personality is portrayed in the video games. He is easily manipulated. However, he is also the strongest character in the franchise. So good. The fight scenes between Sonic and Knuckles are some of my favorite fight scenes that I've ever seen in an animated CGI movie. It was great. Every fight scene. I was enthralled with the choreography of them perfecting Sonic's fight style in movie form, and showcasing Knuckles' punching, his climbing, his ability to glide. It was all perfectly captured in this movie. They also did a way better job of representing Sonic's classic maneuvers in this film as well. You definitely have Sonic's agility, the homing attack, the spin dash, and the rolling attack. the classic moves from the Genesis era and the Dreamcast era and the modern era to really show what Sonic can do. In the hidden temple maze zone, it was really fabricated like he was running through a zone for him and Knuckles chasing to get to the Master Emerald. And I felt like I was playing the game myself. It was perfectly executed, and I hope in future installments of this film franchise we see way more situations like that. And definitely do not let me forget to mention Tails' ability to fly and event technological advancements was perfectly replicated in this movie as well. And the fact that he can hold Sonic to help him reach terrain that he couldn't previously reach, and they can also team up so that Sonic can do more damage with special moves while Tails is holding him as well from games like Sonic the Hedgehog 4. So cool. So many Easter eggs and tidbits from the classic Sonic games from the Genesis era, the Dreamcast era, and the modern era. They were all brought to the film, and I was so happy to see it. Now, unfortunately, this is a review. If I had to pinpoint one specific part of the movie that ran a little bit too long for my taste, it would definitely be the wedding scene between Donut Lord's sister-in-law and her husband that ending up being a undercover agent for Gun, the agency that's represented in Sonic Adventure 2 to Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog to, help take on alien extraterrestrial forces. It just ran on for too long. They find out that he's a secret agent and they harp on that. And then they have this little sequence where Sonic and Tails gets, captured by them. And the two sisters go into the place to break them out. And then after all that, you think it would be over. And then they continue the sequence where the sister confronts the husband for lying to her. And she's driving on this golf cart thing. And they got her crashing the wedding scene. It just lasted too long. It definitely, I get it. I'm sure with some contract negotiations, you had to have these actors and actresses feel needed within the film. I understand that, man. I just think it just ran a little bit too long. I mean, I just don't feel like anybody is paying their money for a Sonic movie to see scenes like that. We want to see the characters that we paid to see. That's all there is to it. Am I happy that Gun was included in this film? Yes, it's their representation of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. I just think it could have been executed a bit better. Now, having said all that, I will easily also state that Jim Carrey's Eggman is disqualified from that entire human rant. Jim Carrey makes this movie. I will always say that when it comes to a blockbuster, how good your villain character is, that's how good the movie is going to be. I am firmly in belief that Jim Carrey was born to play this role. He has lived up to the hype. He makes this character his own, and he gives Eggman an identity that I didn't even know existed. He's always been cool in the further games like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2 to Sonic the Hedgehog 06, but adding Jim Carrey's quirkiness to it just brings a whole nother dimension to him that only he could provide. It makes me so nervous because we all know that he has came out and said that he potentially might be retiring from making movies after this one. I hope that's not the truth. I hope Paramount Pictures really comes through and pays him the money that needs to be paid so that he will come back for the third, because he is definitely needed. Now, would you believe me if I told you that one specific post I've seen on a Sonic the Hedgehog Facebook group had a whole paragraph-long post explaining why he didn't think Jim Carrey was fit to play the role of Eggman? I'm sorry, I bet you're insane, sir. This fool was born to play this role. Now, I would be hard-pressed to not at least mention the amazing avalanche snowboarding action set piece that took place in the movie, that unfortunately a lot of the trailer does give this sequence away, but God almighty, man, this sequence was still one of the best action pieces in the film. The chase from Sonic to Knuckles to all the Eggman robots trying to take him down, them hurting Tails, and them literally just by the hair of their chinny chin chins escaping. So freaking good. One of my favorite parts. So many Easter eggs in this film, man. There are so many representations from each of the classic Sonic games, from the set pieces in the Ice Cap Zone, the hidden stage zone with the fight between Sonic and Knuckles for the Master Emerald. You have your Easter eggs from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I mean, there's just so many worth mentioning that it could literally get its own video. I mean, you're going to have your Easter eggs from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 as well. And you're also going to have your references from one of my favorite games, Sonic and Knuckles, which of course we all know that you can combine Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic 2 and Sonic and Knuckles and create whole nother games. I was like a kid in the candy store. I mean, I just can't even express how happy I was to experience this. Now, after all this awesomeness, Eggman betrays Knuckles and he obtains the power of the Master Emerald, which he uses to build his final Death Egg robot, which was absolutely a monstrosity, the size of a skyscraper and just a behemoth, masterful CGI monstrosity to look at. And then that led us to finally Knuckles realizing that Sonic was never the bad guy at all. There was always Eggman manipulating them into fighting, and that led him, Tails, and Sonic teaming up in this Sonic Heroes style battle to take on the final Death Egg robot, and I was in heaven. I was so happy. It was so good, man. Just them teaming up, their coordinated attacks. Knuckles with his punches, Tails with his flying and his gun, Sonic with his spin attacks. So good, man. And of course, all hope seems lost, but they were able to punch the Master Emerald out of Eggman. But Eggman is so smart that he was able to utilize the final Death Egg robot to power it back up without the Master Emerald's power. So all hope's lost. Sonic's about to get killed, and he finds the Master Emerald, and the Chaos Emeralds come out, and you know what happens when Sonic gets the Chaos Emeralds. Super Saiyan Sonic! I can't. We finally get Super Sonic on screen. They've been teasing and hinting around it for a year. We finally get a rendition of Super Sonic live action, and oh my God, it did not disappoint at all. This was so good. I was fangirling out, man. I could not contain my excitement. I was all over the place. My emotions was everywhere. That part when Eggman swung his fist at Super Sonic and he just stopped it with one hand. He was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then continuing with the action, Super Sonic proceeds to obliterate the final Death Egg robot by flying through it at least 100 times at breaking light speed. And it was so freaking satisfying. Yes. And then finishing it off when the final Death Egg had virtually no power left, he takes his one foot and gently taps it so that it falls to the ground, just destroying Eggman completely. So good. And that right there essentially ends our movie. We get a final sequence with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Donut Lord playing baseball. That was so cool to see. And they have fully accepted their roles as the defenders of Earth. Knuckles is officially the protector of the Master Emerald, alongside with help of Sonic and Tails. And they will be ready to defend the Earth whenever it needs their help again. Bravo. Bravo. Round of applause. I was so happy with this movie. Aside from the simple little nitpicks that I had with the extended human parts whatsoever, overall, the Sonic aspect of this movie, I loved so much. Now, if you're still here, thank you. Go ahead and hit that like button. I really appreciate that. I'm sure you're all wondering about what my thoughts are on the extra credits, the end credit scene. As we all know, when Gunn was going through the rubble of the final Death Egg robot, as they all presumed Dr. Eggman to be deceased. But if we know Dr. Ivo Robotnik, we know it's going to take way more than that to take him out completely. But the Easter egg came in that the documentation of an experiment from 50 years ago, and right then and there, I knew who was going to be the next antagonist for the next third film. Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog. I love it. But to be completely honest, though, my first reaction to seeing Shadow was a little bit disappointment because I still kind of wanted to see a Metal Sonic story plot before we got Shadow the Hedgehog. But I do fully understand that Shadow the Hedgehog is the second most popular Sonic character right after Sonic himself. That's not even an understatement. So, kind of no surprise to me that we're getting Shadow for the third film to finish out the first trilogy. And it kind of makes me nervous, definitely wondering if we're even going to get an introduction of Amy Rose at all. I would still love to see her character, but she definitely makes her introduction in Sonic CD right along with Metal Sonic. So I'm very intrigued to see how or if they're going to introduce her character in the third film as well. She is definitely a fan favorite as well, and I would still like to see her inclusion. Now, back to Shadow himself. Of course, I am immensely excited to see his inclusion in the third film. His storyline in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for Dreamcast and GameCube is one of the best in the entire Sonic franchise. But it does make me a little bit concerned because that is also one of the darkest stories in the Sonic franchise. I'm very curious to see, are we going to see Maria Robotnik get murdered? Are we going to see Gerald Robotnik get executed? That's a very interesting take to see. These movies have really been focused and geared towards kids, so the storyline is extremely dark. So very curious to see where they're going to take it. That would definitely be my only major concern with this reveal. If you're going to do this storyline, it has to be done right, not watered down to get that PG rating for the kids. This is a storyline that needs to be done right, man. The Shadow the Hedgehog, he's not one of the more popular characters just because, it's his storyline, it's his personality, it's his background. Also, it's going to be very tough to do the Shadow the Hedgehog storyline without the inclusion of Rouge the Bat as well. You're going to have to include her in some type of capacity as well. So it's so many questions that's going to need to be answered. A lot is riding on this third film, what we're already seeing. Hopefully they can fulfill what we all hope that they can fulfill, man. I look forward to it. And with that, my friends, it is time for me to wrap up. I love this movie. I love the after credits scene. I love the present of these films. I love the past, and I love the future. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for this movie franchise. When the original came out, I called it the greatest video game movie of all time. And this is a very satisfying follow-up to that classic film. I cannot wait to see what this franchise has in store for us in the third installment. I believe that the rivalry between Sonic and Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be legendary when they bring it to the live screen. Sonic and Knuckles is one thing, but definitely Sonic and Shadow hit a new plateau of epic when they gave us Sonic Adventure 2. And I cannot wait to see that story be brought to live action. It is going to be amazing. My final statement to Paramount Pictures and Sega, thank you for allowing me to relive my childhood through these films. You have fulfilled a childhood dream that I have always wanted since I was 6 years old. And as long as you continue to support and make these movies, I, as a Sonic fan, will forever support them. Thank you. And as always, thanks to you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you're a Sonic fan, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We cover all kind of Sonic news here all the time. Movie-related news and game-related news. This is the place to be. I cannot even express how excited I am to play Sonic Frontiers, let me tell you. You can follow me at youtube.com/SmartJack79. I am also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, my friends, thank you for the support. I love you guys. You allow me to do what I have always loved to do, continue to relive my childhood through this YouTube channel, and I cannot be forever more grateful for it. And until the next one, my friends, I will see you guys later. Bye.